Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television GPTV. I'm Brett. It's Tuesday. It's not New Comic Book Day, but I want to talk about something that's coming out tomorrow and do its own special video because it's that freaking awesome. Plus, we got permission to do so. So, tomorrow's New Comic Book Day. That means new comics are hitting shelves all across the country and, well, the world. One of the new releases is going to be this Volume 1 of the Flintstones from DC Comics. DC hooked us up with this trade to show off. I can't praise this enough. Written by Mark Russell and artist by Steve Pugh, I believe pronounced the last name. I'm trying to get better pronunciations. I tend to butcher names. It collects issues 1 through 6 of the Flintstones from DC Comics. Now, I know what you're saying. The hell's the Flintstones doing in a comic book? Why is this good? Well, the Flintstones from this comic, from DC, is probably one of the most socially relevant comics of the last year. It's awesome. The commentary is amazing. The small comments that are being made by Mark Russell, his way of taking on issues that are going on today and giving it a twist that's entertaining, that's fun, that's funny, most importantly. And what's great is he's using a series like the Flintstones and a lot of stuff that we know, having watched the cartoon growing up. I loved Hanna-Barbera cartoons. He uses that to enhance the story. It's not things that he's just like throwing out of Left Wing and it has nothing to do with the series. It still all works. It's Fred, it's Wilma, it's Pebbles, it's Betty and Bam Bam and the Rock Quarry and Dino, and they're all there. Marvin, the Martian, not Marvin the Martian, Great Gazoo is in it. And, he ties it all together so that it works really well. And each issue usually is just focusing on some topic and just needling it in a really entertaining way. For those who've read Russell's previous writing, Prez from DC Comics, which is an amazing take on politics. He's got a prose book called God is Disappointed to You, and then the follow-up Apocrypha Now, which has got art by Shannon Wheeler, is a modern take of the Bible. All of that is fantastic and has this great point of view and this great perspective, and in a social conscious way, like is aware of the world around it and is making commentary about it, and it's absolutely amazing. So this alone, these 6 issues, takes on religion, science, Donald Trump's presidency, foreigners going to some other place for their vacation and basically trashing it and looking at privilege through that lens. What else do we have there? I think there's trauma having to deal with past wars in it. There is just social commentary of people thinking that they are better than others in that whole eugenics sort of way. I'm trying to think other things that are. It's when it goes through a hell of a lot, and it's really impressive because of that. Each issue is packed with humor, which is the best thing about it, in that it does all this really relevant, smart writing, but at the same time does it in a way that's going to get you laugh and keep you entertained. It's not just some story that's preaching to you. The main goal to start with is to entertain you, and from there he's able to get you to think and laugh and skewer the society around us. I think that's one of the things that Mark Russell as a writer does. That's absolutely amazing. He's fantastic at looking at the world that's around us and just skewering in some way. This is fantastic political satire, social commentary, social satire, all wrapped into these 6 issues of fantastic writing. This is one of the most well-received comics of last year. Really entertaining, really fun. I totally forgot that marriage, not just gay marriage, but marriage as a whole, is in there. That's the kind of thing that Russell does, is, and doesn't talk about same-sex marriage at all. Instead, he's just looking at marriage as a concept. It's the people who want to get married, period, they're the ones that are the odd ones, not the, same-gendered couples, for instance. That's the type of thing that you're going to see in this and reading this, is he's going to take real-world issues, or he takes real-world issues and he skewers it slightly, twists it slightly so that there's a different take on it, and it takes you maybe a little bit to figure out what he's talking about, like what's the issue being tackled, but it's totally there, and it's done in such a fantastic way that's, I love it. I absolutely love the series. I think it's fantastic. You know, I went into it thinking the Flintstones, you know, I loved the cartoon. How, you know, how's it going to translate to a comic? He nails it. Even the sight gags from the Flintstones cartoon are totally in there and taken to a whole new level. I mean, that's the other thing that's great on it, is that the humor is there. That pun, those gags, some of those things that made the Flintstones a timeless comedy are still in this comic. So he gets the essence of the Flintstones, and then he's giving us more through it. He's actually making it relevant to today, which is awesome. And if you go back and you watch the Flintstones, the cartoon back in the day, they were relevant then. There was commentary in it. Now, it might not have been like this, but it was there. It was something you could watch and you could think about, and it was as interesting of a family dynamic and that sort of comedy that has persisted through the decades as any live action show was on, or is on television. Like, it's just a solid animated series that is basically timeless. So the art is probably the one thing that's going to be the most controversial for folks. You can see from the cover, it's not the classic, you know, Betty and Fred and Wilma and Barty. It's slightly different take on them. I like it. Now, first I'll admit it took me a little bit to get used to reading the comic, and it was slightly different for me. But once you get into a couple issues, I'm trying to just find some really good ones that kind of shows off a lot of the characters so you can get a good sense. But once you kind of get through a few issues and like into the groove of things, you don't really notice it. I mean, Fred kind of looks like John Goodman in a little bit when I think he played the character. Or no, there was a couple that played the character, but he's got a little John Goodman thing going on him. And, you know, that was probably about the only thing that kind of struck me, is that the art isn't the classic Hanna-Barbera art. You know what? That's totally cool. It's a different version of the Flintstones, slightly different look to the Flintstones, but in the end, the heart is there. It's classic Flintstones with just an updated commentary and point that it's trying to make. The comic itself, as far as extras, we get covers in between the chapters. It's pretty standard for DC trade. Let's see. And you can get a little bit different take on the covers, which is kind of fun. And let's see what else. Like, here's a cool cover. It's one of my favorite covers. I don't know why. I just really dig it. We get kind of a sketch version of the cover. And then in the back, there's variants of everything. And some sketches of the various characters. You can get a good sense of that this isn't kind of the classic take of the characters, that they are slightly different. So again, that might be the biggest thing you got some issues with for fans of the old animated series. Overall, I love this comic series. I mean, if you haven't read it all, this is an absolutely fantastic place to start. $16.99 in the U.S. You can obviously find it much cheaper online. You know, basically get it, find what the hype is all about. You know, rarely am I this excited about a comic series. This is me excited. So when I say go buy it, this is a go buy it. It's getting a special one-off video. That's how damn good it is. It's out this Wednesday at comic book shops, at local comic book shops. Go get it there first if you have a local comic book shop near you. There's a link beneath this video. There's a phone number that you can call. Try to find a shop by you. Go support them. If you don't have a shop by you, we've got 2 links beneath this video. One is for Things from Another World. They'll have it this Wednesday and then they'll ship it. The other one will be Amazon. Amazon gets it the following Tuesday, so there's a slight delay. But this is one you need to have, so you got to go to your comic book shop and go get it. Thank you, DC Comics, for hooking up. This is one of my favorite series in quite some time. I've generally loved the Rebirth reboot. The Hanna-Barbera reboot is pretty awesome unto itself. Future Quest is great. The Flintstones is fantastic as well. I think the best of the best when it comes to that. Absolutely fantastic. go get it. Now, if you're into comic books and you're watching this video, you probably are, unless you're like a diehard Flintstones fan, which is a possibility. If you're into comics, you should go check us out every single day at graphicpolicy.com. Of course, we're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. Until next time, thanks for watching, and watch out tomorrow for brand new videos. Of course, it's New Comic Book Day, so we'll have more trades from DC and Marvel to check out. As always, thank you so much for watching. Keep reading those comics, and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.